What if everything you thought was real was just a dream? In this video, we will unravel the secrets Alice discovered in the depths of Dreamland, secrets that challenge everything we know about reality. From talking animals to a world without rules, Alice's journey in Wonderland is more than just a fairy tale. It's a reflection of our deepest fears, desires, and even truths we often ignore. Are you ready to uncover the truth hidden in Wonderland? As we dive deeper into Alice's mind-bending adventure, you'll learn how her experiences reflect much more than fantasy. We'll explore how each encounter challenges her and our perceptions of reality, logic, and identity. Stick with us till the end for revelations that could change the way you see the world and dreams. Welcome to Legend Stories. If you're fascinated by the untold stories, hidden meanings, and mysteries of the world, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more mind-opening content. Let's jump into the depths of Dreamland. Before we talk about the journey Alice embarks on, let's first take a look at the world she falls into. Wonderland isn't just any dream. It's a world where nothing is as it seems, where the rules of reality simply do not apply. Imagine a place where time is fluid, the laws of physics are bent, and the boundaries between fantasy and reality are constantly shifting. This is the environment Alice must navigate, a place that challenges her at every turn. But what makes Wonderland so unique isn't just its fantastical creatures or bizarre happenings. It's the way this world plays with logic itself. From the moment Alice falls down the rabbit hole, she finds herself in a place where every expectation is shattered. Nothing can be taken for granted. As we dive deeper into Alice's encounters, we'll uncover how Wonderland reflects the subconscious mind, where all the chaos, confusion, and wonder are born from within. Stay tuned, because Wonderland's unpredictable nature might just hold the answers to some of the biggest questions about our own realities. Before we talk about Alice's transformation in Wonderland, let's look at the Alice who first falls into this strange place. When Alice lands in Wonderland, she's not the confident, self-assured person she becomes by the end of her journey. At first, she's confused, disoriented, and unsure of herself. This isn't the real world. She knows everything is foreign, strange, and, at times, even frightening. But it's in this world without logic that Alice begins to question herself, her identity, and her place in the world. Wonderland doesn't just confuse her, it forces her to rethink the very foundation of who she is. The bizarre characters and shifting environments don't just test her understanding of reality, they challenge her to grow, adapt, and redefine what she knows to be true. As she encounters characters like the Cheshire Cat and the Mad Hatter, Alice begins to realize that the boundaries between fantasy and reality are blurred. These encounters don't just lead her further down a rabbit hole of curiosity, they push her towards self-discovery, a realization that perhaps the world she once understood was far too narrow. Before we talk about the key characters Alice meets, let's explore how these bizarre figures challenge her perception of the world. In Wonderland, Alice encounters characters who don't just offer guidance, they force her to question everything. The Cheshire Cat, with his cryptic smile and riddles, is the first to make Alice realize that logic can be twisted. We're all mad here, he says. But what if that madness is the only true way of seeing the world? Then there's the Mad Hatter, whose tea party is full of absurdity, yet holds hidden truths. The conversations make no sense, and yet they reveal the very essence of Wonderland, a place where reason no longer reigns. And yet there's a strange kind of order in the chaos. As Alice struggles to understand their words, she begins to question her reliance on logic and, in turn, begins to explore new ways of thinking. Through these interactions, Alice learns that the world doesn't have to make sense. The rules we've always followed don't always serve us. And maybe, just maybe, the most powerful way to navigate life is to let go of control and embrace the madness. Before we talk about Alice's stand against the Queen of Hearts, let's examine the authorities she faces in Wonderland. The Queen of Hearts is a figure of absolute power, ruling Wonderland with an iron fist. Her orders are simple: off with their heads. The queen's authority is unquestionable. Her rule based on fear and unpredictability. Everything in Wonderland is dictated by her whims, and her followers live in constant dread of her temper. But Alice, in her journey, refuses to bow to this senseless authority. At first, she's intimidated by the queen's commanding presence. But as the story unfolds, Alice begins to see through the queen's tyrannical rule. The queen's logic is absurd, and her power is built on nothing but fear. Alice's defiance is a pivotal moment she challenges the authority that once seemed all-powerful and refuses to accept the queen's irrational demands. This act of rebellion is more than just a confrontation in Wonderland. It symbolizes Alice's growing confidence and her ability to think for herself. In this dreamlike world, where nothing makes sense, Alice discovers the importance of questioning authority and standing up for what she believes in, even if that means defying the very world she finds herself in. Before we talk about the final revelation Alice faces, let's take a step back and reflect on the significance of her journey. Through Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts is a figure of absolute power, ruling Wonderland with an iron fist. Her orders are simple: off with their heads. The Queen's authority is unquestionable. Her rule based on fear and unpredictability. Everything in Wonderland is dictated by her whims, and her followers live in constant dread of her temper. But Alice, in her journey, refuses to bow to this senseless authority. At first, she's intimidated by the queen's commanding presence, but as the story unfolds, Alice begins to see through the queen's tyrannical rule. The queen's logic is absurd, and her power is built on nothing but fear. Alice's defiance is a pivotal moment she challenges the authority that once seemed all-powerful and refuses to accept the queen's irrational demands. This act of rebellion is more than just a confrontation in Wonderland. It symbolizes Alice's growing confidence and her ability to think for herself. In this dreamlike world where nothing makes sense, Alice discovers the importance of questioning authority and standing up for what she believes in, even if that means defying the very world she finds herself in. Before we talk about the final revelation Alice faces, let's take a step back and reflect on the significance of her journey. Through Wonderland, throughout her adventure, Alice is forced to confront her own fears, doubts, and preconceived notions. She starts as a curious, confused girl who is simply looking for a way out of Wonderland. But by the end, she has evolved into someone who has questioned everything she once thought she knew. Wonderland is more than just a dream. It is a metaphor for self-discovery. As Alice faces bizarre creatures, nonsensical situations, and confronts authority, she is essentially learning how to navigate the chaotic world of her own mind. Each challenge, no matter how strange or illogical, teaches her something about her own courage, identity, and ability to make choices in an uncertain world. Through this dream, Alice has ventured deep into her subconscious, and what she uncovers is more profound than any fairy tale could explain. In the end, Wonderland reveals to Alice that reality is far more fluid than we ever realize. Our understanding of the world is shaped not just by logic, but by how we choose to see it. Before we talk about Alice's awakening and return to reality, let's understand the ultimate lesson she learns in Wonderland. By the end of her journey, Alice has undergone a profound transformation. The chaotic, dreamlike world of Wonderland no longer overwhelms her. Instead, she sees it as a reflection of her own inner world, a place where imagination, logic, and identity all coexist in strange harmony. The final moment of Alice's adventure, when she stands up to the Queen of Hearts and redefines her place in Wonderland, isn't just about defying authority. It's about understanding that reality is not something rigid and unchangeable. Rather, it's something fluid, shaped by our thoughts, perceptions, and beliefs. Alice's victory is a realization that she has the power to reshape her reality. No matter how strange or out of control things may seem, Wonderland was never a place she needed to escape it. was a space for her to confront her fears, doubts, and limitations. And in that journey, Alice learned that the most important thing is to embrace the madness, to question what seems unquestionable, and to trust in her own ability to find her way, even when everything feels uncertain. Alice's time in Wonderland teaches us that reality is not always what it seems. Through her adventures, she challenges the limits of what we believe is possible, showing us that sometimes the most profound discoveries happen when we step outside the boundaries of what is known. The chaotic world of Wonderland forces Alice to confront her inner struggles, question authority, and reimagine her own identity. In the end, Alice awakens not just from a dream, but from a mindset that tells her the world is rigid and fixed. She learns that our perception of reality is fluid, shaped by our experiences, choices, and the courage to face the unknown. Wonderland is a mirror for us, all a reminder that in life, we too have the power to question, to grow, and to challenge the norms that bind us. So, what lessons can we take from Alice's journey? Embrace the madness, question what seems impossible, and trust that within the chaos, there's always a deeper truth waiting to be discovered. As we close Alice's journey through Wonderland, it becomes clear that her adventure was never just about escaping a strange dream. It was about embracing the unknown and discovering the power we all have to shape our reality. Wonderland was more than a fantastical world. It was a mirror for Alice, showing her that the boundaries of what is possible are only limited by our own perceptions. The lessons she learned, questioning authority, challenging our beliefs, and embracing the chaos are not just for dreamers, but for all of us who face the unpredictable twists and turns of life. If Alice's journey through Wonderland made you rethink your own perception of reality, don't forget to like and subscribe to Legend Stories for more mind-opening stories and insights. We've only just begun to uncover the mysteries of the world. Stay tuned for more.